Justice League versus Teen Titans. And you know, I gotta say, it's a very bold move for DC to allow Teen Titans to have their own movie. I mean, it's still got the Justice League title there, but you know, we're getting closer. Eventually DC will allow its children to play outside unattended. So I gotta put up my usual disclaimer that I'm not that big of a comic book fan, and again, I am trying to fix that. I'm trying to, you know, absorb all the correct information, so when I do reviews like this, I'm as accurate as possible. In fact, I really don't know that much about Teen Titans outside of the animated series. I mean, obviously I knew who Robin was, and I knew Cyborg because he was part of the old Justice League cartoon, but before I saw the animated series, I didn't even know what Teen Titans was. I didn't even know this was a thing. And I really like the Teen Titans animated series, but because I'm probably going to miss some reference to the comic, or I'm just not going to get something, I will only be judging this as a movie, and nothing else. So Justice League vs. Teen Titans goes along with the animated universe that DC's been building with their direct-to-DVD movies, like the Justice League movies and the Batman movies. And I gotta say, I'm really liking it so far. It's working out a hell of a lot better than their cinematic universe. Yeah. What are you gonna do about it? So, spoilers for Justice League Throne of Atlantis, but at the end of the credits in that movie, you see Lex Luthor show up, and it implies that he's gonna start the Legion of Doom, which I thought was gonna be its own movie, but in this movie, they actually open with the Justice League and the Legion of Doom going at it. I was assuming they were going to build them up and maybe have them show up in another movie for a big showdown, but instead of it's like, oh no, here they come, it's like, oh no, they're here, we have to fight them, and I was very surprised by that, and the opening sequence of this was really cool. So while the Justice League is going at it, Robin, Damian Wayne, is running crowd control, and is kind of pissed that he's been reduced to crowd control. And considering his abilities, I kind of don't blame him, although he has been very whiny in these past couple movies. So in order to set him straight, Batman sends him to Titan's Tower to train with the Teen Titans. This time the team consists of Raven, Beast Boy, Jaime Reyes the Blue Beetle, Cyborg, who joins them much later in the movie, and Starfire, who is actually the leader of the team this time. And oh boy, Starfire. We do see her quite a bit in this movie, and well, let me just say, nothing you will tell me will convince me that she is supposed to be a teenager. Meanwhile, Trigon, Raven's daddy, attempts to free himself from his prison so he can come to Earth and destroy everything. And I gotta say, for a movie with a very dark theme, it did manage to keep up a pretty good sense of humor. There was a scene between Cyborg and Batman where Batman was working on something, and then Cyborg shows up with a pizza, and he's like, hey, I thought you might be hungry, you've been working for a while. And Batman's like, no thank you. And so Cyborg starts eating it, and Batman looks over at him and he goes, where does your food go? And he says, you don't want to know. I really liked all the monsters and demons they had to fight, and then they go to Hell, which they actually call Hell. It is really cool. And without giving anything away, someone is revealed to be one of Trigon's minions, and with that, again, I won't say who it was, but I don't know if this person had actually any connection with him in the comics, but I can honestly say I did not see it coming. Probably my favorite part of this movie, though, was the relationship between Robin and Raven, because they were perfect for each other. It was just so as awkward as it was adorable, and I loved it. Now, in the Teen Titans cartoon, it was, of course, Robin and Starfire, and I think a lot of people wanted Robin and Raven to get together because they did have a bond that when the whole end times thing was going on, the two of them really got close with each other, and a lot of fans kind of wanted that to happen. And again, I don't know how this worked out in the comics, but I'm really digging how they did it in this movie, because Damian Wayne was just this angry, you know, selfish, just, you know, he thought he was better than anybody, but then Raven got a read on him and said that deep down he was really sad, and they worked well off of each other in that regard, and yeah, I really liked it. I really only had 3 complaints with this movie, and the first was that Green Lantern and Shazam were not in this movie. Of course, they were in the last 2 Justice League movies, but they were not included in this one, and they really didn't give a reason as to why. Another complaint was about halfway through the movie, Starfire takes all the Titans out to a carnival to have a little bit of fun, and the whole time they have this montage playing this, like, 90s teenage coming-of-age alternative love rock song, and I don't know what song it was. I didn't even find a credit for it or anything, so I can't even tell you what it was, but they played it really loud over people talking, and it just felt very jarring and out of place. And on top of that, at the carnival, they had this giant DDR machine, and as funny as it was watching Robin take on Beast Boy in DDR, the music they played was just so... I'm assuming it was some J-pop song that I can't identify, but it felt so bad. They should have used a Puffy Amiyumi song. Now that would have been appropriate. And the final and biggest complaint I had comes with the title itself. Justice League versus Teen Titans. There really wasn't any versing going on in this movie. There was one scene where the Titans fought the Justice League, or rather a few members of the Justice League, and it was only because they had been possessed by Trigon, and that scene didn't even go on for that long. So yeah, the title of this is kind of a lie, but I really like this one. In fact, I would probably call it my favorite post-Flashpoint Paradox, and I believe I've said that about a couple of other movies I reviewed. But that is a good sign that they are getting a lot better, but as far as I'm concerned, this is the best one so far. That is, at least until we see how The Killing Joke turns out. Oh boy, that's gonna be fun. But that's all I got for Justice League versus Teen Titans. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this movie. My name is Rob, and have a wonderful day.